Hello, welcome to Above Deck, a below deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer and former marine biologist, coming to you from my home in Charleston, South Carolina. Sadly, Kelly cannot join us today. This is a special bonus episode, and very shortly, I'm going to be joined by a very special guest. His name is Brett. He goes by Bravobybrett on Instagram. We are Instagram friends, and we've met at BravoCon, and we're going to be talking about Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, Summer House OG, Vanderpump Rules, the Valley, and we're going to give an update on BravoCon news, BravoCon 2025. Let's enjoy this bonus episode with Bravobybrett.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So you just have me today. Kelly had a migraine this morning, so she is not here, but she sends her best.
It's all right. Well, we'll party it up for her.
Yeah. So you're in Chicago?
Yes.
Is that
Right
where
now
you're
I
from?
am. No, it's so I grew up in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
and then moved to Boston, lived there for about 6 years, and then I just recently have been dipping my toe. I would say dipping my toe in Chicago because I've been living here on and off a little bit. So
Okay.
just a good bag of tricks. Where are you?
I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. Kelly is in
Oh.
Ohio, where we know each other from Ohio. We were roommates in college, and I've been in Charleston for like 20 years, which is kind of becoming a little Bravo hub down here.
Oh, I know. I mean, you could go out every weekend at this point.
I could, but I'm 40 and I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, but you have to get it for the stories, all that. I'm sure, that Joe
Yeah.
Bradley, he invites everybody out. I'm like, okay, what are they trying to do?
Yeah, exactly. And now we have another Joe Bradley, same name, different guy, who's going to be on the next season of Below Deck Mediterranean. So that's kind of confusing.
Oh my God. Can I not find other people?
Exactly. Okay, so when did we officially meet? I know we were kind of Instagram buddies for a while, and then did we actually meet at BravoCon 2022?
I want to say we did, but I don't think it was a long. I think
Yeah.
it was like, oh my God, I know you. Oh my
Hey, I know you.
God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I think. But we got to hang out a little bit more at BravoCon 2023 because we took pictures
yes.
together and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Because like, when did you guys launch your page slash? Did you guys launch your
Um,
podcast or did you guys launch your
we
page
did
first?
both at the same time. I think it was February 2022, so it's been a couple
Okay.
years.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
so
think
we were still pretty new. What about you? When did you start your Instagram?
I think I always get it confused. I feel like it was late 2020 or
Okay.
whatever Salt Lake came out. I think that was
Okay.
late 2020,
Gotcha. Yeah, I
like
do
November.
remember. It seems like it's always been in our lives, really.
I know. I just remember Salt Lake because I launched it like right when it started and they were like so I think it was like the first time and no one will ever do it again apparently that people they were so interactive. Like
Hmm.
I have DMs with Jen Shaw like I just remember like Whitney just being like, "Oh my gosh, like, like hop on a live with me." Like Heather was so social. I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like everyone's so nice." And then I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I see they just wanted to make it work."
Well, I'm sure they loved you too.
Well,
But yeah, the Bravolebrities are kind of funny when they're first getting going,
mm, they
and
want that attention.
they're kind of like working out how they're gonna play things, and then they get a little big for their britches, some of them.
Yes. Well, I like when like it makes me upset. Do you watch Martha's Vineyard?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. They're not like I truly believe it's gonna drive the success of the show is that they don't really interact with fans. They don't do a lot of like media stuff. Like
Hmm.
I feel like I never really see them online. Whereas like with
Hmm.
Summer House, like West is the star character, like
Yeah,
everybody loves West. Like
he's the
yeah, but
best.
he's online all the time. Like he's posting things, he's hanging out with people. Like that's kind of what
Hmm.
you have to do when you're new. You gotta get the fans
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's interesting. I haven't really interacted with many of the Summer's House Martha's Vineyard people. We did do a photo op with Bria, but we hadn't
Mm,
started watching the show last year. So I was like, oh, hi, what's your dog's name? He's so cute. But now that I
Milo.
watch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I had a picture with Milo. It's so
Uh,
cool.
now you're famous. Now you're gonna
I
be famous
just,
now.
yeah, I just love that little dog.
Uh,
Um, okay, well, let's kind of get into all the shows. Let me get
sure.
to my notes here.
I'm ready.
Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's talk about Summer House first. Summer
Okay.
House OG. Whoa. Sorry, I just dropped my phone. Okay. What do you think about Carl? Are you
Oh,
like up to date, first of all?
up for the most part. Like I didn't see the last one, but I know a little bit about the conversation he has with his dad around marriage and the issues they've been having around the $20,000 for a life coach.
Oh, I the $20,000 for a life coach. That's insane.
Like that's the craziest piece to me is that he because it's I don't I've kind of gone through a journey with it where it's like I think I used to be very much Team Carl going into it,
Same.
and now I'm really kind of more conflicted. I don't think I have a side yet, but um I can kind of understand like I don't think what Lindsay said around like the drinking stuff was appropriate, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh, but I definitely think that Carl needs to get himself together, get a
Yeah,
job.
he kind of does. Although, do you think he's really just viewing the show and kind of being an influencer as his job and he's fine with that?
He could be, but it sounds like he's not really making enough money off of that
Yeah.
to
On the
like to
last
like.
episode, I really appreciated how he said, I made $70,000 last year, from Instagram. And I was like, I'm enjoying hearing some real information.
Oh yes, yeah. I
Yes.
want to know the real dollar. I mean, I would love to know what Paige is making.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Paige
Because
is killing it.
if he's only making 70, Paige probably is like triple that, if not more,
Oh
from
yeah.
Instagram.
For sure. But people are saying that maybe that conversation he had with his mom and his stepdad, like, is kind of like a total setup. Like he's always been planning to break up with Lindsay this summer, and
Yeah,
he's kind of doing it for the show. Um, I don't know.
that's a hard one. I mean, it's hard because it's like they when you're in the shows for so long, I feel like you kind of become your own producer of yourself. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you kind of learn how to do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did have that plan because he was like, because like what would Summer House be this season if we did not have this? Like it's been on for what? Are we on season 9, 10?
Yeah, something like that.
Like we're so far deep that like they gotta spice it up and
Yeah. If we
they
didn't
got
have that drama, what would we have? I mean, we'd have West, which is
Wes.
amazing.
Yes,
He's so much
yes.
fun, but and all the partying and some Amanda and Kyle conflict. And
Classic.
yeah. Danielle, why is she still on the show?
Oh
Do
my
you
gosh.
do you love her? Do you hate her?
I
I
didn't
don't.
like her. I haven't been liking her. It's funny because I met her at the not this BravoCon, but the last
Mm-hmm.
BravoCon at the Winter House premiere party.
Mm-hmm.
And she's such a love and I forget what the ex-boyfriend was named. Um, who was she with before? You remember him?
Um, I can't remember
Him.
him. The
Um,
chef, the guy that worked like in Montauk.
yes.
Okay,
She was with
him.
him for a while.
Yeah.
Um, she was just so sweet and nice and friendly, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so wonderful.
I've
But
heard
then
that about her.
on TV, it's like,
She's kind of a
it,
monster.
yeah, like this isn't for you. Like I don't know what has gotten activated in you for this. Like
Mm-hmm.
I I think she probably maybe has like that feedback in her head that she's gotten throughout the years that like she's not activated enough, or like
Yeah.
she's too work focused because every time she
Mm-hmm.
comes, she's like, I
I'm a
work.
CEO and a founder.
Yeah, I'm a CEO and a founder, like boss and CEO here. Um, like, okay, like she just prides on that so much, which is fine. Like, you can
Yeah.
totally have that. It's just interesting to like take that energy into like summer house where you're supposed to be like crazy and wild and like party all weekend. Like you're supposed to you leave work at home, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And she does get pretty messy. She hooked up with the balloon guy
Yeah.
this past episode, but I don't know. She just doesn't seem very self-aware and just not on the yeah, like what you're saying. She doesn't seem very nice on the show, but in person we hear from fans that she's lovely.
Lovely. Like such a great like I had a great conversation with her. Like I just feel like I don't know. It's funny because like when I met like Kyle and I met Shep and like they're dead ringers for themselves. Like
Yeah.
there's no like
Mm-hmm.
they are
They
themselves.
are who they are.
So it's like almost comforting, you know, to like be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yes, Shep, I'm meeting you and you're basically on the verge of blacking out. That's what I would expect from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danielle, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting not to switch it, but like I've never been a fan of Ciara.
Oh, really?
I
Oh, I kind of like
know.
her.
I know.
Oh,
It's
okay.
only it's only because and it's a semi-personal experience is that like my friend was at a Braves game once
Mm-hmm.
and she's from Atlanta. Like that's where she
Oh,
grew
okay.
up. Or that's what she her nursing. She was being a nurse there.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she claims to be in New York City. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my friend was like, and this was like when she like first got on the show, like whatever, 3 seasons
Okay.
ago or whatever.
Yeah.
She was like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of Summer House. Like, can I get your picture?" And you would have thought you had told her to jump off a building. Like,
Really?
completely was like, "I don't have time for this." Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
fine, I'll do it. Like, just
Mm.
like completely like disregarded her. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
Okay.
so
I
like
mean,
having that in
yeah.
my head and watching, I'm like, "Oh, come on,
Yeah.
Sierra."
I mean, maybe she just had a bad moment. You don't know what was going on personally, but
I
okay.
know, I know, I know, but I hold a grudge. Why not?
Yeah.
Although,
You know who wasn't very nice to us at the last BravoCon
who?
was okay, who are the two guys on Southern Charm that have the same name, Rod and Rodrigo?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Rod, the one with the glasses.
Okay. Okay.
We saw him and Shep in the VIP area, and and we have a mutual friend. So I
Oh,
was like, "Hey, I'm Sarah. I'm friends with, so and so." And he was just, I mean, it was like I was invisible. He could not have cared less. He and Shep were at the bar, and they were just like so rude.
that is
But
horrible.
yeah, I'm like, okay, dude, whatever.
Like, this is your job. Sorry. You
Yeah,
gotta
and
be
that's why you're
friendly.
not gonna be back on future seasons. I'm sure.
Oops. Oops.
Oops.
Well, I not to take it over for you, but what do you think of the situation with like West and Sierra in the sense that like West was like, they're like, "Are you talking to other girls?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well,
Yeah.
Sierra or anything?" Like, I was like, "Exactly." He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't defined it, so I don't really see an issue with that. Um, I do like I I don't know. I mean, obviously she doesn't owe him anything as far as like on our show we call it dropping anchor, but
Oh, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
um I don't know. I think he really likes her though, and
He can. He can like her, but it's like
yeah.
it's hard with like I feel like it's almost kind of like a summer fling, you know? Do you know how long they
Mm-hmm.
film? How long do they film Summer House? Is it like a
It
month?
seems like they start around July and they go to like do they go to Labor Day weekend?
I, I think so. I think that's when like
The
the final
first one
party
of the first
is.
parties is usually 4th of July weekend, I feel like.
Yeah,
So it's not all summer. So maybe yeah, July, August, and into September a little bit. But yeah,
right, right.
it's not super long.
A little fling for him. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying him. Okay, Summer's House, Martha's Vineyard. I just binged watched all of them.
Yes,
It's so different from other Summer House in that they are there for like 15 days
crazy.
nonstop. I love the house. I love Martha's Vineyard. So beautiful.
Yes.
And I like that the cast, they're all most of them are genuinely friends, like they know each other, they're real connections.
Yeah.
Who are your favorites on Martha's Vineyard?
Oh my gosh.
I love Jordan.
Jordan is a good one. It's funny because I think I'm liking Amir this season, where I did not like him as much last season.
Yeah, he's kind of
Uh,
adorable.
right, he's kind of like West energy in a way this season, which is like
It's funny.
ni nice to have. I like
Hmm.
Preston.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Preston for sure.
I have like mixed emotions with like Bria because like I find her
Yeah.
incredibly annoying.
She's a firecracker. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about her. She seemed very sweet when we met her, and then when I watch her on the show, I'm like,
Oh
good
my.
grief.
But I
Um,
find that but I find that energy essential. Like I want someone that
you gotta have it.
into themselves and just like petty and like
Hmm. And
um
will like fly off the handle about almost anything.
oh yes. And then what's her name? Oh my God. Uh
I know there's so
Jasmine?
many. Yeah, Jasmine, like the
Yes.
Jasmine and Silas.
Oh, I'm so glad he's not on the season. I'm
I
so
did
happy.
not like him last season. He's so like, I'm the man.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Gross.
you need to wait on me hand and foot. That was icky.
When are you having my baby? Like, ooh, like, ugh.
Yeah, no thanks.
Oh my arms.
Yeah, let's see. Who's the guy with the glasses? He's always wearing like a dandy hat. Do you know what
Yes.
I'm talking about?
Nick,
Nick?
Nick, Nick,
Nick.
Nick.
He's an odd bird, right?
I there's
There's
something
something there. There's
like
something weird.
this. Just not. I think he over tried last season.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because he was single.
Hmm.
But this season he's kind of been kind of just dopey. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. He's always dressed like he's in a barbershop quartet.
yes, yes. And then his like little tight little running shorts that he wore to basketball. I'm like, all right,
Yeah. So yeah, definitely enjoying that. Okay, so Vanderpump Rules.
yes.
Full disclosure, I did not start watching until Scandival because I wanted to see what the heck was up because everybody was talking about. Are you like a day one Vanderpump?
No,
No.
no.
Have you watched all the
Well,
seasons?
I kind of skipped around. So
Okay.
I was like back in like 2011, 2012, like I was um uh, in the VPR space. I was watching seasons one, two, and three, like
Yeah.
with the Stassi era. Like to me, like that's like the core of Vanderpump.
Okay.
Like that's what really is makes the
Like
show
made this.
really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of skipped around a little bit. And then it was on pause for me. It's on
It
pause.
was on pause. Yeah.
And then when Scandival came around, I came back into it and like I
Yeah.
knew majority of the storylines. I just had to get
Mm-hmm.
kind of caught up on like all this other drama that was happening with Ariana and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but now it feels like a whole new show at this point. Like the
Okay.
whole dynamics have changed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I mean, uh, Sheena is still the same. She's not changed.
Okay. I really want to go back and watch those early seasons. Maybe I'll do that this summer.
It's so weird. It's so interesting because like, t I want to call him Scandival. Scandival, like he was always like this just weird character,
Okay.
just like so into himself and like wanting to be famous and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that never has changed. So like now to see him the way he's acting now, it's like he has not changed. Like this is who he is. Like,
Yeah.
but and then I'm wondering after this season, like how they kind of keep it going. I feel like it's on its last legs.
Yeah, like how much more can we talk about Ariana
Scandal.
and Tom and like the fallout of that? Like,
I can't hear it after this season. I mean, a lot of people
mm-hmm.
kept telling me like give the show grace because they were filming 3 months after they
Mm,
filmed the reunion, I think. I think that's what they
okay.
said. So like that's why like the first half of the season is very much heavily based on Ariana's emotions
Okay.
and her
Gotcha.
feelings, because I was in the same boat of like I can't do another season of like
Right.
her like complaining about this, or
Mm-hmm.
like him acting up. Like I like we need to move on. Like I wish they would focus more on all of her brand deals.
I know that's what I want to hear about. I want to be there when she like gets the part of Roxy Hart in Chicago.
Yeah.
I want to see them recording that Uber Eats commercial. Like I want to
Good
see how that.
as gold.
I love that. So good.
No,
Um
I mean, Tom Sandoval should just leave the show. I think no one wants to see his face ever again.
mhm.
Um, and then I would like to see Ariana in this new age era of herself and like,
Yeah.
um, and seeing Sheena being jealous that she got Dancing with the Stars.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I definitely see what all the fuss was about. People have been telling me for years to watch it, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that I kind of know what's going on now. So I will go back. So should we be watching The Valley?
Oh, that's I think if you are well, you have to know Kristen
Okay.
Doty. Um, so that's very much like in her generation on
Mm-hmm.
Vanderpump Rules. I know Real Moms of Bravo, they love it. It's their song of the
Mm,
summer. It's their
okay.
season of the summer. Um, I'm kind of hate watching it, but that's just my categorization of
Okay.
like TV. Like I'm just not like a I don't mind trashy TV, but like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is so trashy. Like the one show I'm not watching is Vanderpump Villa. That's too trashy for me right
Yeah,
now.
I can't.
It's just too produced. But I'm enjoying the Valley
Mm-hmm.
because I just don't. There's just something about the dynamics of having these like unhinged, crazy parents with children, and
Yeah.
like and just like listening to them talk to like how to be a parent is like the funniest thing. And I can't get over Brittany's trout mouth. I don't know if you've seen that online. She like she had some, I don't know if it's like filler or Botox or I don't
Uh-huh.
know whatever happened, but it caused her mouth to be like
Oh
this.
no. Okay,
So
I have
she's
to
like,
look.
so the whole episode she's like talking like this. And so she's like, Jax. It's like, seriously, Jax. Like, I'm like, I like can't stop laughing at it. She even posted about it. She was just like, "No worries, guys. My mouth is fixed," but I can't stop laughing at it because it's so good.
Oh my gosh, I love her. She's a great character.
Do you believe in the divorce stuff and like all that separation?
I don't know enough to say, but
Yeah.
I could definitely see. I've watched the first episode of The Valley just so we before this conversation because I wanted to kind of know what it was.
Okay. Yeah.
And it just strikes me a lot of these people are just such good reality show people that, like you're
Yes.
saying, they know how to produce themselves. Yeah, I could totally see it being for the show.
It was so funny the first episode. Their names I always escape me, but that guy Dan or whatever, where like
Mhm.
Jack's pants is him, and then his wife
Uh,
goes and cries. And I
yeah.
posted that, and somebody was like, "You don't understand what it's like to be a woman going through postpartum." And I'm like, "You're right. You got me. You got me on that
You
one.
got me.
You got me on that one." I still think it's hilarious that like that was the trigger for her is that her husband got pants and she had to go cry in the other room. Like that's
Yeah.
funny to me.
Oh gosh, so funny. Okay, let's talk about BravoCon 2025, which was announced a few
Woo.
weeks ago. Are you going?
That's a great question.
I know it's 2 years away, or it's a year away, year and a half.
um, I mean, a part of me, I go back and forth on this. I think I would go, and honestly, would go if someone got me a ticket.
Of course, of course.
It's just okay because we went because you did you go to the very first one, the 2019 one?
No, always regretted it.
Yeah, Catherine, Bravo enthusiast, she went to the very first one and just talked about how like you could like basically like rip Teresa's hair out. Like, like you're just so close to them, you're
Yeah,
interacting. The New York one I enjoyed a lot more than some people liked. I mean, I know there was a lot of feedback about the experience in New York,
you
but
froze for
uh,
a second.
oh
Say
no,
that
am I
again.
here?
Yeah,
Hello?
you're there. You're there. Yep.
Um, the New York one. I was very much like I enjoyed it. Like a lot of people had the feedback that they didn't like it. It was too crowded, like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vegas was like a whole different landscape. Like
Yeah.
I felt it was a lot more engaging. But
Mm-hmm.
the difference was is Vegas was so I just felt contained. And what I mean by that is like the conversations were so like the questions, like I remember Michael Rappaport being like, "Oh, we can't answer that question." Like it was
Uh-huh.
just so much more restrictive in terms of what they could talk about,
Yeah.
and I didn't like that as much. So
Mm-hmm.
for 2025, I'm open to going. Like I think my goal is because I've talked to, do you know Maggie, Best of Bravo?
No.
She she was like, you should just stick it out and like just ask people if they have like guest passes when it gets
Mm-hmm.
closer. And I'm because like she got her guest pass from someone that she had known, and I'm like, okay, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
next year
Yeah.
I'll just be on the reserves. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it
Yeah.
doesn't. But I don't know if I can drop that money again to go to
I know it's
Vegas.
so much. Kelly and I were both saying we really appreciate that it's not happening this year, just so we can
Oh
like give our
yes.
wallets a rest. Because yeah, that's it's a lot. It's a
And
lot
do
for sure.
something else. Like I again enjoyed my time
Mm-hmm.
there, but it's
Yeah.
also like it's just a lot of money, and I don't know if I want my vacation to be
Right.
Vegas, 3 days at BravoCon, like
Yeah.
endless, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I always say this and then somehow I get convinced into going.
I know, or you have like major FOMO if you don't go.
I just also don't know like what more they can do. That's why I'm like curious to what they're gonna do for 2025 because like
Mm-hmm.
at this point, like in 2022, it was like exciting because I had never met any of the housewives or
Yeah.
like been in the same vicinity of them. And now I was at
Mm-hmm.
panels.
Yeah.
Um, and then 2023 was like, oh, we know how this works. Like we're going through the booths, we're going around. Like I was jealous of the VIP tent. That pissed me off the most because I didn't have VIP.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it like changed. It changed because in 2022 they were all over the booths. Like, I don't know if you remember, like
Yeah.
anytime like they came out, like just mobs formed.
Yeah.
Like it
Mm-hmm.
was so much, and like people like stopped going to panels because they would just get pictures with like Dorinda, like walking through.
Right.
But because of the VIP table this year or the little room they had, like none of them came out. They all like stayed in there, and
Mm.
so I'm like, hmm, but
Yeah.
I'm curious what they'll do for 2025. I hope they mix it up and like make it different and
Yeah.
like more fun. Like I'm someone who enjoys the panels. Are you a panel person?
Oh yeah, we like the panels for sure.
Love the panels. I really want them. Like I enjoy the cast panels and stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like for 2025, like you could have those, like obviously like the below deck, like you want to have a below
Yeah.
deck panel, but
Yeah.
like I want crossovers. Like I want to see like different housewives from different franchises sitting
Mm-hmm.
around, like interacting with each other, like having conversations, like almost like a little ultimate girls trip.
Oh yeah. Kind of a peek behind the curtain,
Yeah,
like, behind the scenes type of thing. Yeah, that's one thing I love about Ultimate Girls Trip is they're like talking about the shows that they're on and yeah,
which is why I go to BravoCon. Like I don't need to recreate the season. Like don't tell
right.
me, don't tell me about drama that's happened before. I want to know what is going on right now.
Exactly. That's the other thing is BravoCon 2022. I felt like there was a lot more tea spilled at
Yes.
BravoCon, or they announced,
Yes.
shows or showed previews for the first time or announced shows coming back. And that
Yes.
wasn't the case at BravoCon 2023 in my experience.
Well, I did go see Dubai season 2, episode 1 premiere at
Oh, did you?
BravoCon. I did. And I recorded it live. I was
Hmm.
like, um, they came after me, and took it down. I got banned for
Oh,
like 3 days. I'm like, oh,
oh no.
but they came back to me in like March, like February, March. I'm like, this was back in November. You're,
Hmm.
you're a little late to the game.
Right. Oh, goodness. Well, we're planning to go. We have our hotel secured
Oh,
for
good for you.
2025. And just for everybody listening, November 14th, 15th, and 16th in Vegas at Caesars Forum, same location as last year. And you can book your hotel. There's a link on the Bravo website somewhere. Just search BravoCon and you'll find it. So yeah, well, hopefully we'll see you there. What's the next housewife thing coming out? Is it New Jersey?
Yes, and I'm actually excited because I'm in Chicago, and
Okay.
I've been working with this bar to do like a watch party. So I
Fun.
think we're gonna do a watch party next
Oh,
week.
sounds great.
I'm like always nervous that like they're gonna bail or back out and be like, "Oops,
Yeah.
sorry," like no, but I'm excited for Jersey. Are you a Jersey watcher?
I watched until Caroline Manzo left, and then I didn't watch, and then I picked it up again last season. But
Gotcha.
that's another one I want to go back and watch all the years that I missed. But I was just so distraught that the Manzos weren't on there anymore, and I was like, no, I can't do it.
I think it's hard because it's like that's why I'm excited for this season is because
Mm-hmm.
all the seasons pretty much since the since Melissa joined, um, everyone like it's always just Teresa, Melissa, Teresa, Melissa, Teresa,
Right.
Melissa, Teresa, Melissa, and now we're getting kind of like the breakage of that. So I'm kind of hoping that this season brings that kind of new energy, that new wave for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Here's hoping.
Yeah,
Well, tell everybody where they can find you and what all you have to promote. Just like tell us.
just promote it all. Well, I guess you can
Mention it all.
you mentioned it all. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at Bravo by Brett. I also um, do Bravo content just like you. Um, except I don't know
Great content.
how you guys do podcasting because it is a lot of work.
It is. Yeah.
So big kudos to you. But yes, if you can always follow me at Bravo by Brett. That's where I am.
Yeah. Well, we love all your content. It's so funny. It's so creative and just, yeah.
You need to tell the algorithm that because the algorithm
Ugh,
hates
the
me.
algorithm
So,
is terrible lately. Yeah. We
it's
used
so
to have like, I don't know, our engagement was like 100,000 people every
wow.
however many 30 days or whatever it is. And now it's always like 30,000 or less. I'm like, what is going on? We have more followers, but who
I
knows?
know. And you guys are really spewing out the content. I always see your guys' posts. I'm like, they're just
Okay,
like
good.
work.
We are working.
Yeah, I'm
We're
keeping
just
that.
in the streets trying to get a sperm donor, whatever allow us.
I mean, in theory, you guys should honestly, you guys should be invited to BravoCon. Like all the stuff that you do for like below deck, like
We're
if you,
wondering if once we're close to 10,000. So we're
yeah,
wondering once we get there, maybe, I don't know. I've heard that that's kind of a magic number, but we
yeah.
need another like 800 followers. So we'll
All
see.
right. Okay. So that's all right. That's my goal. I'll just keep posting y'all stuff and be like, y'all need to follow
Oh,
these people
thanks. We'll do the same for you.
and get you to
Well,
10,000.
yeah. Well, this has been so fun. And let's do it again, in a few months or whatever.
You anytime, anytime, always available. Love chatting Bravo.
Definitely. Well, I hope you have a great rest of the weekend and we'll see you on the gram.
Well,
That's it for this bonus episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat Media, especially Grace. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend and please rate and review us 5 stars only. You can follow us on Instagram at Above Deck Pod or email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. You can watch these episodes on the Hurrdat Media YouTube channel. And until next time, I'm Ciara Goldman, and we'll see you then. Bye.